Hi, this is Sletha. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be testing out watercolors and a palette that I made. This was a previous sketchbook I used. I thought the fibers in the paper itself was going to be dense enough to use watercolor on, but it actually started warping pretty bad. So I will not be using that today. Today I actually have a student grade watercolor paper. I think it's literally something students use because when I consider myself to watercolor. The Strathmore watercolor paper. I've used it before. I had to prep it because I had to cut the top, like this little stuff, because it unfortunately doesn't come like pre-cut. You have to do it yourself. But I've used this before. Today, this is the watercolor brushes that I'm going to be using. My friend bought them for me the Christmas before last. They're the pretty blue ones. They're like a darker blue. They're very fine. I'm an oil painter, and I haven't used them with oil paint because I ruin brushes when I oil paint. This is a palette I made from primaries, from a pre-made watercolor set, and then in between those I created my own palette to use. That pan came empty, and then it's got a cool mixing part, and then I have this cute little water cup. I broke it. That's what that chip is. And then I might use that gel pen, but it depends on if it decides it wants to work. And then coffee. I literally can't do art without coffee. So, to start, I'm going to start by sketching. Because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do like a background to test these watercolors out, like a landscape. But I've decided against it. I'm going to draw a person. I usually start with the eyes first, because as the house bunny said, the eyes are the nipples of the face. I drew the eyes way too big, because the way I draw it, the hair would have, I want to include the hair on the paper, so I'm just going to make them a little bit smaller. I used to start by drawing like the face, like the outline of the face first, but then somebody when I was younger was like, you draw wrong. So then I started practicing with the eyes first. TBH, there's no right or wrong way in my opinion. Because I still will sometimes draw the outline of the face to start depending on what I'm drawing. But yeah, so I typically though will start with the eyes at this point. I'm gonna draw the jaw a little sharper. I'm partial to sharp jaws because mine is square. And I'm not entirely sure where I'm going with this. But I'm a portrait, like I draw people, so I know I've recently been watching this show called Cursed on Netflix. If you haven't seen it and you're into like fairies and the fae folk, I think you'd enjoy it. Because it's about that. It's like, so when I was growing up, I was obsessed with fairies. I was obsessed with the fae. So that's what I'm gonna make this person, a fae. I thought I was a mermaid for literally a decade of my life. Oh, quick note. The paintbrushes came in this cute little velvet bag. It's like a little carry bag. I wanted to show it because I thought it was cute. It is cute. Alright. Anyway, pressing on. I thought I was a mermaid for a decade of my life. And when I was younger, I used to take the salt. Mind you, my mom knew that I had this strange obsession with being a magical being from a different realm, and so she never stopped me, but I would take the salt and like put it in my bathtub. And because if you've ever seen Splash, it's like this older movie, I think it's Hannah Darrell. Anyway, she is a mermaid and she puts salt in her bath and it makes her fin come out. So when I was little, I thought I could do the same thing, so I tried. So my person that I'm drawing, I thought I was gonna make like a little satyr, you know, cause like that's what it was looking like. But I've decided I'm gonna make a cow person, cause those little horns look cute and get a little nose ring. I love cows, and if anyone knows me, I love cows. I'm pretty obsessed with them, especially those like little baby ones that have long hair. Like, I really just want like a farm with like a cute little farmhouse, like a wraparound porch, and then cows, just cows everywhere. It'd be so cute. Another note. I am horrible. I've never been like a fashion person. So I was really struggling with drawing this person's clothes. I know I should probably use Pinterest, because that's what a lot of people do, and I've seen other people's work, and it definitely looks like it makes things easier, because you know the references are there, but I didn't. So what came to mind though was when I'm drawing this is that this fey person is in school, perhaps college, studying something fairy-like or cow-like, you know, because they're a little cow person, a little moo baby. Give them a little cowbell and a little cow print all over their shirt. Yeah, I think that's good. I'm just gonna tape it down, and because if you don't tape it down, it doesn't matter what kind of paper you have, for the most part it will just like start warping. I think that's like the only downside that or like a thing that I dislike, at least for me, is that the warping of paper is just like, it's unattractive to me. But you can mostly stop it. This brush is not one that came with the set that my friend got me. I had to use this one because I didn't get, like, there's no large brush in that set. So this is just a huge brush I have that had finer hairs for watercolor. I have to put the water in all of those because they dried out. I made the palette like forever ago, and I didn't ever get the chance to use it, so I thought I'd use it now. I'm just putting blush everywhere because it makes things look lively. Also, pink is my very favorite color. I love pink. When I was younger, I tried to say that I hated pink because everyone was like, cause I thought I was a tomboy, and I was like, I hate pink. But I didn't hate pink. I loved pink. And also, tomboys can love pink. Like, you know what I mean? I think everyone should love pink. It's just such a happy color. So I thought this color that I'm putting on the hair was black. Turns out it's violet. I totally forgot. But art is an adventure. If you're drawing or painting or doing whatever you do artistically, my recommendation is just roll with it. Because I definitely thought that was going to be black. I kind of like the violet though. That's a little red, and I'm using mostly like the warm colors from this palette because I wanted to make this cow person's like cheerful, like cheery and warm colors, or at least for me evoke happiness, like variations of pink. Yeah, like little red lips. So it looks darker right now, but it won't be, because watercolor, if you're new to using watercolor, it dries light. So I think it could be a con or a pro depending on who you are, but you can just layer colors and then you can see them come through the bottom. It's very fun and pretty. There's definitely like something very aesthetic to watercolors that I didn't know how to appreciate before I started using them. So with the inspiration for the shirt, you know, most cows depicted are white with little black spots, so I thought I would do a little black shirt with white cow spots. Kind of like maybe like a backwards, well, it's like the saying about zebras. Are they white with black stripes or black with white stripes? Maybe it's different. This brush is fun because it's angled. You don't have to like try to angle your hand to get a certain stroke on there. It's fun. So far these brushes are a dream. I love them. My friend knows that I have destroyed brushes and need detail ones, and so for Christmas they got me these, and they also got me a book for oil painting that I've read, but I really need to get back into. Watercolor is very fun for me, but I will always love oil painting first. And I don't know if it's because I started with it first or if I don't know, there's just something very soothing when I oil paint, but also very annoying because I don't know, I think a lot of artists are like this, but and maybe you're like this if you're just very critical, like so critical to the point sometimes that it's hard to enjoy your own work once it's done, because you know what I mean, you just have seen so many of the flaws and have to like work through it, and like the stress of like your own brain telling you something's not working good. Anyway, I have a mixed feeling relationship with oil paint, but I love it like deep down inside, or else I wouldn't keep doing it. I know that's like weird, but it's tumultuous, me and oil painting. If you haven't seen any of my oil paints, I do have a few of them posted on my Instagram, which is just the 2 moons underscore tradition, or 2 moons underscore studios. Then you can see some of the oil. So with this person though I'm painting, so it's very fun, I have decided they're in a field, and I was wavering between making the horns yellow, but I decided like what's between red and yellow? Orange. And that's why they're orange. A fun thing though too with watercolor, because watercolors have grown on me over time, but you can shade with color and it looks very like aesthetically pleasing. I started art basically with pencil, and then I moved to pen, so ink, So gradients between like black and white or my jam. But watercolor has taught me a lot. Like, you can shade with color. Yeah, I added texture to the hair because it was looking like a little bit flat, so I thought that would be fun or visually appealing. And blush and paint in the cowbell. I'm gonna, in the land that this cow person is from, I kind of imagine like an eternal sunset. You know, like the sky is just naturally like pinks and reds and purples and yellows. It's very soothing. And because of that, I think freckles are appropriate. Just little sun kisses. You know, I envy those who can go into the sun and not shrivel up like a burnt nugget, because I can't. I don't tan nor freckle. I just go into the sun and immediately I'm a lobster. These markers, they're like marker pens. Really good. I got them off of Wish, or sorry, not Wish, but AliExpress. And cheap, very cheap, but wonderful. I love them. I've used them a few times since I've got them, which was a while ago, but they are, I actually used Sharpies before, like the OG of permanent markers for like doing dark stuff, but these are really good. Like, they're not too glossy. They're, you know, the flow is nice when you draw. I was really impressed. The only thing is, when I got them, there were 4. I definitely had 4, but I opened the package and immediately lost one. I have no idea where it went. I literally just, it was gone. Like, I looked everywhere, but I'm so sure I had 4. And I know on the book, the book would be backwards, but I'm just gonna assume wherever this cow person lives, whatever realm this fae lives, that's accurate way to write cow. Not on the back of the book. Yeah, so I've created this character, and I think a good name would probably be, let me think. Oh, so that gel pen actually didn't work. I am using a white watercolor tube and just dipping my paintbrush in there and then highlighting where I need it to be in its most potent form. Those gel pens work when they want really well, but when they don't want to, they ruin everything. They literally upset me sometimes because I know when they're in the mood to work, they make beautiful highlights, but then when they don't want to, it just makes everything harder. Anyway, these are highlights. Okay, so this new fae is going to be named, I'm thinking maybe like Sky. That would be fun. Yeah, Sky from the land of Moolah. I think that's good. Sky of the land of Moolah. And that's MOO-LAH. In case you're wondering. Sign that. And I'm going to call it good. This looks good to me. I'm just going to untape it. It's not completely dry. But I just want to thank you for watching this video of me testing out the watercolor brushes and the palette I made. As you can see, I think they worked pretty good, considering I'm not a super intricate watercolorist. I would recommend these brushes I have and the paint I used. If you want to see more art videos though, like and subscribe. I will be posting regularly or more than I have. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.